Good evening. It is I, your boss, your ruler, king of the darkness, lord of the earth, the emperor of evil, the one that caught you stealing from your job. I hope it was worth it. I've just come back from taking the soul of a man who was a pedophile. He had a fitting end, however. The man had molested one of his stepchildren, and after a year of denial, the mother eventually caught him in the act and killed him with a gun. Now I hate you humans with a passion, but even I am disgusted by your antics. I usually don't care about what you do, but a child, seriously, with all the hookers in the world and Instagram models, some of which have a youthful appearance, and you want a child. Don't worry, people like them have a special place in hell. You women disgust me even more. I will never understand some of you women having such low self-esteem that you will choose a demon of a man over your own happiness simply because you love him and don't want to be alone. It doesn't make it any less funny, but I digress. But enough about that. I know what you're here for. Yet another exciting, yet bleak story from my past. Well, at least according to some of you. I suppose I can tell you the story about my quest for hundreds of souls was wrongfully taken from me in the shortest war in history. It was on August 27th, 1896. I had a dry spell of claiming souls during the time. Other than the occasional murder or old person taking their last breath, you meatbags weren't dying nearly fast enough. The Civil War was over, and there weren't many major disease epidemics going on. So I figured, why not cause a ruckus for another war? Now I heard about the European conquests that were going on in Africa during this time. They always had an insatiable appetite for conquest. So I decided to whisper into the ears of some British officials, nudging them towards a fresh conflict. After all, nothing gets the soul count up like a good old-fashioned colonial squabble. And sure enough, the Sultan of Zanzibar, Hamad bin Thuani, dropped dead. Probably because I nudged him a little too hard. Oops. In his place, Khalid bin Barghash declared himself Sultan without the British Empire's approval. Big mistake, buddy. The British, being the British, were not amused. They gave Khalid an ultimatum: step down or face the consequences. But Khalid was my kind of human. Stubborn, dramatic, and completely oblivious to the fact that he was about to be turned into historical trivia. At 9 a.m. on August 27th, 1896, the British finally lost their patience and opened fire. Cannons boomed, bullets flew, and I was rubbing my hands together like Birdman in excitement. This is it, I thought. This is the moment I've been waiting for. And then it was over in 38 minutes. I blinked. My infernal jaw dropped. The British had obliterated the Sultan's palace, sunk his tiny navy. Yes, he had a navy, if you can call 3 boats a navy, and sent his forces running for their lives. Khalid himself, he fled and hid in the German consulate like a child who just broke a vase and was waiting for his mom to calm down. 38 minutes. Do you understand how short that is? I've had demonic summoning rituals that took longer. I've sat through Catholic confessions that felt longer. And worst of all, the death toll was barely 500. I was furious. I had spent weeks setting this up, whispering, manipulating, planting seeds of chaos. And for what? A war shorter than an average lunch break? I barely had time to warm up my pitchfork at the time, before it was all over. I stormed back to hell, fuming. My demons tried to console me. Maybe next time, boss. At least you got a few hundred souls, right? But I wasn't having it. Next time. There was no next time. The British had won so decisively that nobody even tried to challenge them again for decades. They had ruined my fun and set a speedrun record for warfare. And to make things worse, humans actually laughed about it later. Historians call it the shortest war in history, like it's some kind of joke. My failure is a punchline now. So yeah, that's the story of how I lost out on a great war and was left with a pathetic handful of souls. It still stings to this day. But don't worry, dear listener. I've learned a lesson. Next time, I'll be sure the war lasts at least an hour. That's all the precious time I have today for you fools. If you like what you heard, please feel free to follow me if you're not doing that already. And please tell your friends about me. Advertising can be such hell